Fine.
Hey everybody. I just wanted to make sure that I was even coming through on video here. Am I? I was originally planning to do this um yeah, like off the cuff, and then I needed to put my words down. And so I've got this like teleprompter app that's like a split screen kind of thing. I hope I've set it at like the right speed though, because I want it to flow naturally. So if you hear me like going faster, um you could be probably pretty sure that I said it too fast, or I might change the speed. This is gonna be fun. Do we wanna wait for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, yeah. Give it a chance to fill. Give some people a chance to tune in.
Okay. Alright. Alright. I mean, this is just gonna be recorded in HD anyway.
Oh, that's a good point.
We can just start it.
Okay.
I think there's like even an option to like edit out this preamble.
Then go for it.
I don't know. I haven't played around with this enough. Let's just get going with it. Alright. Very exciting. Thanks for being here. Brothers and sisters, peace be with you. I have a confession to make. I haven't been telling you the whole truth. Allow me to set the stage. Lancaster, PA, August 17th, 2016. 1 decade ago yesterday, I said goodbye to my wife of 8 years. The year prior was my 30th birthday. She threw a surprise party for me. Life was trending upwards. I had successfully funded my little comedy show about a priest, and we'd be shooting the second season soon. But in the middle of shooting that first episode, I broke and could go no further. I was overwhelmed with the desire to end my life. By God's grace alone, I didn't go through with it, but I fell into a deep depression where I couldn't find satisfaction in anything anymore. The following year, on my 31st birthday, I came home late, drunk, and told my disappointed wife we should just get an annulment. Convinced I was the reason for all of the misery in her life, I decided to let her go. This decision haunted me right away. I had long thought it would be cool to get Maximilian Kolbe's tattoo, and now I was going to do it for the 75th anniversary of his martyrdom. I've got a thing for numbers and anniversaries. It fell on a Sunday, though, so not wanting to be the reason someone had to work on Sunday, I got it the following day, on the solemnity of the Assumption of Mary, something I knew Maximilian would appreciate. 2 days later, my wife was gone, and I found myself just grateful that I installed this sacramental on my forearm. I found myself now praying for his intercession as patron of drug addicts, very worried about what might happen to me as I slid into a deep hole of depression while working in the bar scene. By God's grace, I did not fall into addiction, but I was starved for affection. After losing the only woman I ever knew like that, I got hooked on affection with others. But it led me to a very good, life-giving relationship that lasted till 2018. I still hated myself, though, and it ruined the relationship. I was also overwhelmed with Catholic guilt for dating someone without having my marriage be declared null yet, and I found myself hoping that it wouldn't be. I meant what I said in my vows. How could I hope that the church would judge otherwise? I continued to work in hospitality and entertainment while trying to walk the straight and narrow. I wanted this to be my martyrdom, the husband who would stay loyal to the wife he would never see again. But the letter from the tribunal arrived. I was not sacramentally married. Thankfully, my heart was prepared. I even made a joke video on Facebook where I opened it up like it was an iPhone. It was time to start anew. I made new friends. I followed my heart, and I met Carolina. On our first date, she joined me in feeding the homeless before we went to the movies. We married in 2021. This time was different, and I knew it would be different. I would give this my all, and it would not fail this time. Fast forward 5 years, and I'm lost. After a long, winding journey, one where I finally came to terms with my abuse by two priests, I found myself back in the same spot. I was out of things to give and out of things to give up. We only made rent in October by rolling up Carolina's coin collection that had been decades in the making. Now we were halfway through November, behind on rent, and with no idea how we would make rent for December. Where did I go wrong? Where did I fail? I brought these questions alone in prayer. I had to. Carolina and I were not on the same ground spiritually. She was trying to live honestly, and she couldn't even go to Mass, angry at the church for what happened to me, and thoroughly disillusioned by the Christians in her own life who weren't even trying to love their neighbor as much as they love themselves. But now I was carrying the added shame of leading her away from the church. This is why I shouldn't have told anyone. Better a millstone were around my neck, right? Meanwhile, I was still trying to go to Mass, even though my hands would often shake and sweat. I prayed the Liturgy of the Hours every day, but I was beginning to wonder if this was itself a trauma reenactment or compulsion. Where do I turn when all of the signs of the sacraments are loaded with feelings of danger and shame? Like Adam being offered the fruit of the tree, I saw sweet death put before me. It was mine to take. Nobody would be able to stop me this time. Nobody would know until it was too late. Carolina the widow would certainly get more sympathy than Carolina the wife. I was ready to jump again. But instead of making that leap, I chose a leap of faith. I was going to take God at his word, that if I seek first the kingdom and righteousness, all these other things would be taken care of. We agreed to do the ultimate novena to our Blessed Mother, 9 months, spanning from November 14th to August 14th, from Cabrini to Colby, leading up to the Assumption on August 15th. That's why I got an 815 area code. Like I said, I got a thing for numbers. So, the very next day, Caroline and I made a breakthrough in our marriage. The day after that, we went to Mass together again. Then he asked me to quit my second job. He wanted his Sundays back. And he revealed more, one step at a time. He asked us to start admission to the margins, and we hardly understood what that even meant. He asked me to quit my other job, leaving me with no income, and to beg for alms. Carolina would follow when she heard the call to quit her job too. We were to shun all transactional relationships while being pruned on the vine. We were to follow the trail of charity by choosing weakness, vulnerability, and humiliation. Being impressive or clever or highly resourceful to curry favor would be cheating. And every time I flirted with that, he quickly brought me back to the way of humiliation. I reached out to everyone who cares about me in my Lancaster community, especially those I would hope would reach out to me if they needed help. It wouldn't be very charitable of me to assume others are less generous than I, would it? I gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, feeling grateful for the conditioning of my heart through the heartbreak, returning every slight against us with a blessing on them. I was to let people believe what they want and live in their assumptions. The people who really cared about me reached out anyway. Most importantly, I was to never lie, but I had to keep the secret to avoid muddying the waters of mercy. I even left my rap diss tracks raw and unpolished to remain unassuming. I did try leaving some hints along the way, though, of what we were doing. I didn't want to leave Lancaster, but the only way I was ever going to be able to stay in the town where I was raised, abused, and abandoned was to have it offset with an outpouring of sympathy from my community, my parish, my diocese. But a prophet isn't welcome in his hometown, right? So we let God lead us all the way to Southwest Michigan, where neither of us had even set foot. He led us to a new community, a new diocese. My new ordinary, Bishop Edward Losey, met with me one-on-one. Carolina and I continue to go to Mass together, and she now prays the Liturgy of the Hours with me every day. The miracles in our lives have been abundant, and the only thing we lack anymore is money. We have been homeless for 5 months. We have slept in our cars with our cats in the back seat. We still don't have a home, but now we're here. This training season is over. So, to my family, my community, my friends, to those who judged me, rejected me, ostracized me, or ignored me, I got one thing to say to you. Thank you. Whether detractor or supporter, every one of you played a crucial role in molding our hearts for this mission. Did you think I was trying to save myself? That's quite the assumption. Did you think I was trying to be impressive? That I was doing my best to get you on my side? That's quite the assumption. Did you think because I didn't want to work for money, that I didn't want to work at all? That's quite the assumption. You know me. I've had the heart of a priest since I was a boy. All I want to do is serve. But I made some assumptions too. I assumed my Christian brothers and sisters also believed it's better to give than to receive. I assumed we were all practicing almsgiving and tithing, and that my friends would relish the opportunity to direct that toward their own neighbor. I assumed we all wanted to love our neighbor as ourselves. I assumed we were all trying to be good Samaritans. Looks like we all made a lot of false assumptions, including the assumption that one must already be wealthy and established before being called to do charity work. But like Henry Nouwen in The Wounded Healer, I gotta ask, can we realistically expect someone who has never been through the desert to lead others through it? We have forgotten that no God can save us except a suffering God, and that no man can lead his people except the man who is crushed by its sins. Do you still not understand that God associates with the needy? It wasn't the high and mighty leaders who were summoned to the manger in Bethlehem. It was the lowly, smelly shepherds. Mary herself appears to the poor, to the forgotten, to children. And unless you become like a child, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So let us be children. Let us relearn what it is to delight in creation and in each other, and to remember that our Father delights in our delight. As our Christian and Catholic cultures continue to oscillate between toxic and boring, let us choose instead to rediscover innocence and playfulness. If we are going to rebuild our fractured society, we must rebuild community and trust. The Guild of Artists, Mediators, and Entertainers is a coalition for all who are committed to being poor in spirit, who want to reclaim our messy humanity. By promoting the arts, reconciliation, and accompaniment, we will rediscover what it means to be children for the kingdom. And we have found our home. It went on the market on the 14th. We toured it on the 15th. This estate, built in 1920 by the Brock Candy family as their retreat home, will be our domestic monastery. Situated on Maple Lake in Paw Paw, Michigan, we will live there as stewards, hosting community gatherings and providing an individualized retreat space for those who have been abused and harmed by church leaders, each of whom have particular sensitivities and triggers that are not accommodated in generalized retreat spaces. The estate has room for art studios, for creative outreach, a basement for the printing press, a dock on the lake, a yard for a garden, a grotto, and most importantly, a chapel. We won't own the estate. That's for those of you who are called to be property owners. We need the poverty. Our interdependence is how we will be able to survive and create while modeling and fostering a culture of accountability and transparency. We've been playing the long game. Now the training wheels are off. I made myself a slave for Christ, and he has removed my change. So what's up, church? I'm a survivor of clergy sexual abuse, and I ain't afraid of shit no more. What are you afraid of? God didn't give us a spirit of cowardice, but of power and love and self-control. I am so ready to get back to acting, filmmaking, music, stand-up comedy, and more. Going forward, this Substack, Ambrose Before Hose, will be a space where we have fun, diving deeper into the places where God shows up unexpectedly, the movies, music, shows, books. We will continue to share what we are doing, where we are going, with plenty of surprises along the way. We can't give away the whole game yet. So, share this video and give to our mission, not because we're already established and respectable members of the church, but because we're hungry and need food, strangers and need welcome, naked and need clothing. Together, let us build a culture where the marginalized are the subjects and not the objects like Pope Leo called for in Dilexi Te. Let us be a poor church for the poor. In this special Jubilee year of St. Francis of Assisi, let us place our bets that it is in giving that we receive, that it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. May we all learn to see that God is already all around us. And let's take up our inheritance, embrace our brokenness, and be the priests, prophets, and kings that we are all meant to be. You can reach me at timothyodicy@gmail.com. That's TimothyOdicy. Welcome to the game.
Let's play.
Nice. That's good. Take care, y'all. How do I turn this off?
You're just live forever now.
I guess I'm live forever. That's my sacrifice. That's my martyrdom. I can never be unlive. Do I just back out? I have no idea. It's just still going.
Here, you just close the app.
Yeah, that just seems like a. Thanks for spending time with me here, even though I'm making a case that we're very good at presentation.
So professional.
So professional, so incredibly professional. I don't even know how to turn this off.
Oh, is it END?
That's what that's
Mhm.
that's probably it. Let's try END.